It says we're live.
Yeah,
I didn't.
that it is.
I didn't make the progress that I wanted either. I I had a visit that lasted several days, and so I wasn't able to. Even though I was still doing my like 2 hour daily quota, that's pretty much all I was doing. And so the my declaration was that I was going to go ahead and build out just enough functionality where I could select some items. This is for the little e-commerce thing, but the beach delivery app.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Select some arbitrary items and check out and generate some type of transaction. And I didn't finish it. What I did do is I could share my screen real fast, and then I could talk about how I held off on my amazing, brilliant idea of a hanging whiteboard, which I came to a conclusion yesterday that it's probably not going to work the way that I want. Hold up. Let me share my screen. And do I have this? Hold up. Share to everyone, maybe. And so right now, let me clear out you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so right now it's just very basic 1980s. I have no UX skills.
This looks good.
Like this is supposed to be like the main page. Beach delivery is the Elias for the actual name that I'll tell you offline because I haven't registered the apps or anything like that, or for the app stores.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so right now it's like you could choose drinks, snacks, or actual like meals from restaurants. And up here is kind of like your navigation. Obviously, all this stuff these icons will be replaced with something that I don't know looks more professional. And so your checkout. The checkout, I think I'm going to implement the pattern that Amazon does, where every item that you add to your cart, like at the top of the checkout cart, it just increments like from 1 to 2 to 3 items or whatever. So I have a numeric value at the top center of the cart, and then maybe on the right hand side I'll have the dollar amount as you continue shopping or whatever. And then like if you select more drinks, then it'll show a complete catalog of my emulator is slow. It'll show a complete catalog of drinks that you could continue adding or whatever. And then there's a search box in here that I haven't implemented yet. It's the same thing for snacks. That's pretty much the progress or lack of that I've made so far. I think I'm going to try to do another couple hours of programming today, and at least by Friday for sure, I'll have by next Friday, I'll have the workflow of selecting items and checking out and generating a confirmation, aka transaction. So that's the little app thingy. And if you don't have any questions or comments about this, then I could disclose why I'm holding off on my amazing idea about the hanging whiteboard on the door.
Well, no, the progress looks, just fine on this. As far as just something to consider is if you've got to deliver, many things, is just like the pickup time of going to one store to get X and then going to another store and get Y. It might be worth limiting that, but that's just something to think about. Not really, I guess valuable to this. So,
yeah. Can you elaborate?
Well, I mean, like imagine if you had to go to a Burgers or Pizza Hut, pick up a pizza, and then go to, get some Chips Ahoy, and then go and get some Aquafina, and then get Denny's as well. Like, it's a lot of running around for you as a delivery person, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I talked about this with somebody else, and that's just a scaling problem,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is good to have. And yeah, it stresses me out thinking about it, because it's then like, okay, if and when people actually use the app, and I consistently am getting like more than uh 10, 10 orders a day, then yeah, the question of, okay, how do I expect to scale this? Am I going to be doing like batches where, like, I just stock up and just wait every, like, I don't know, 20-minute increment, and just wait for orders to come? Well, maybe 15 or 10 or 15 orders is a bad example. But when you start getting enough orders where you're averaging a couple orders every like 15 minutes. So let's say, like, I don't know, whatever the number is. When you have multiple orders, like every like 20 minutes, or then is that when you start like breaking things down into batches, and like you're just chilling at the store waiting for more requests to come in, and then finally after like so many requests, then you start picking up stuff? Like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time articulating that, but
No, that makes sense. So, but you're right, it is a scaling thing, and probably
yeah.
not anything to worry about. You don't even have a customer yet that you have to worry about that problem. So it's a good attitude to have. So
Yeah, and the other thing is, I was thinking about the first month, if I'm actually able to get this up and off and shipped. Maybe the first 4 weeks is all like trying to build up demand, and so to incentivize that, and it may not be an incentive, but at least to make myself feel good, is maybe donate, the profit based on definition, um, to like charity, whether it's like the beach cleanup or just write a check to City Hall with whatever company name that I use or whatever.
mhm.
And the thought process is, the one of the strategies of marketing or campaigning, which I don't really know, is to, like, on my daily runs, just pass off flyers to every lifeguard uh, post, lifeguard tower, and basically to incentivize them to order whatever they want. And maybe for the first couple weeks, there's no service charge. Literally, they just pay for what they get from the store, and they don't incur any like delivery fees or anything like that, to try to get them to be the first users and whatever. So I mean, I have various scatterbrained ideas of how to market it, but in regards to the technical part, um, scaling is in the back of my head. But like you said, if that ever occurs and that actually reflects progress, I'm just afraid that it could also, like, I mean, you've heard of case studies where, like, the business couldn't scale based on the demand, and they went out of business as a result. And so, I'm not saying that this is a multi-million dollar, thing like that. It's just, I felt so many times with trying to be an entrepreneur that, if there is reasonable like requests that are coming in, I really want to satisfy it. Hence, I really want to, if there's potential for this app serving people, I want it to be able to deliver on their needs and not get a bad reputation. So that's the only thing that kind of stresses me out, is being the one person that is going to be delivering probably within a couple mile radius of where I live. Like if I'm not able to satisfy a whopping surge of 5 orders in an hour, then people aren't going to be happy, and it may get bad reviews. If I am able to get this up and running.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, something to think about. I mean, well, even you will get a bad review at some point in time. That's just no doubt about it, right? But it's just a matter of how visible is that bad review, and how do you respond to it? So,
okay.
but yeah, I mean, you could watch your reviews and try contacting that person like a hawk, and try to add a feedback right in the app so that you can be the first to know about it. Whatever.
Yeah. In regards to the hanging door whiteboard, I just had an awe moment a couple of days ago that it's hanging from a door, and so it's not necessarily. I don't think it's going to be stable. Where like you can apply pressure and write without it, bouncing back and forth off of a door, because there's nothing really like, for lack of a better term, stabilizing it onto a door or pressing it onto the door. It's just hanging, which means that depending on the hooks that are used or the design of the door may have like divots in it based on certain patterns, like square patterns or rectangles.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a recipe for disaster, where like people may think that it's convenient, just like I thought it was convenient, until it's actually used in the field, and they get frustrated because it's making noise as they try to write on it. It's bouncing back and forth, and it's just not stable. I guess stability is the word that I was looking for. So I decided to cancel that because I can't really prove that it will be stable if it's just dangling from a door. So
yeah. I mean, that's probably true, and you have to deal with, in order to stabilize it, you'd have to have tight clamps on the top, and potentially even on the side, but door thicknesses would affect that and everything. I guess anything I've ever seen attached to the back of a door has been unstable. So,
yeah.
I mean, not physically attached, like just hanging, like you said, for sure. So,
I was going to purchase the viral launch tool for product analysis, but I need to rethink my products again because that one just got deprecated. So
yeah. What is your, I mean, that I still think the Amazon, doing something on Amazon approach is probably a good way to get started. But, um, do you think splitting your time between the app and this is problematic, such that you should just go with the app and give it a try? Or
I think the app, so the short answer is, right now, for me personally, like the app is kind of a higher priority because I feel like it's a higher return on investment in regards to like learning new techniques or solidifying, implementation techniques or design techniques, and you know, maybe potentially adding this to my portfolio. And also, if I have the time to build out the back end, potentially consider ignoring the UI part, selling the software as a service for the back end, in which it is GPS and all the thing that a delivery service would do. I kind of look at maybe that's another additional like thing that I could attempt to sell if I do it right. Um, which the proof of concept is building out the entire solution and having that work, and then I could use that to hopefully serve as a testimonial to sell like the back end services. But that's kind of like a reach goal. That's very, very long term, probably another 6 months out for me to build all that out. To answer your question, I want to kill two birds with one stone. That's probably a poor analogy, but like I think with the Amazon thing, I think the biggest step is finding something that is going to sell, and that's the hardest part right now. Is how do I find something that is going to sell, going to compete, and that I don't have to break my neck or break my bank account to get it listed on the first page of Amazon. And that's the part where I just want to be very careful and maybe meticulous so that I don't end up wasting $5,000 or more as my very first, attempt. Hence, I'm unemployed, so I don't have uh, the same amount of checks coming in from corporations based on my bill rate. So I just need to be very careful on how I spend my money, and that's the biggest issue. If I was employed, then I probably would be more cowboyish, but I'm not right now, so I just have to be careful. Plus, tax season, and I still haven't wrote my check to the IRS yet. So these are just things that I'm very I don't know, conscientious about.
Sure.
So, oh, okay.
No. So you'll continue on with both tracks then for that, as far as that goes for now.
Yeah.
USB floppy disks, man. There's somebody out there on the internet who said I would buy one right now if I could find one. Right, that article I posted to you, but you can't find them. So, anyways.
Yeah, I'm curious what people search, because
I've tried to find them. I can't find them. I know they exist. I want to buy them. I can't, because they just, I'd have to get somebody in China to make it, or in the US or somewhere else to make it. So, but
you stated that you were similar to me, where you didn't really make that much progress.
Yeah. So I did spend a little time on Saturday because I feel like I have to do something visible every Saturday on the web, as far as keeping people aware that I'm here and making progress in the small audience that I have, and it helps. So I've been making, I made a replica of a SNES box, all shrink wrapped up and stuff like that, which the benefit to me is that I can fiddle with the dimensions and get more practice actually producing the thing. So that's work that needs to be done. But my goal this week was kind of like yours, is to get, or my declaration was to get the site up and be able to go through just the happy path workflow, let's say, where you go and you select your items and then you upload your something, and then you go through like a checkout type page. I didn't get to that with absolutely no excuse, other than really no excuse. I'm having a difficult time getting over the hump of wanting to do any sort of code development. Spending time making boxes is kind of, and doing the R&D on manuals and stuff like that, which I haven't done yet. It's kind of fun because it's different from what I have to do every single day otherwise. But the software part is just, it's like, man, I just got done. Well, so I've got my day job where I'm writing software all day, and then I get done with that. And then I've got 2 nights a week I teach class now. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. So I'm teaching. So that's also code related. And then I've got family stuff in there. So I've got very, very limited time to begin with. And trying to sit down and spend it on writing more code is straining on me at this point. More of the same of what I do, because this is e-commerce code, which is what I write effectively at work. So have
you considered just hiring somebody to do it for you?
The
risk involved.
Yeah. Well, now that I set up my bank account, I made my initial fund in there. I could probably do that without involving, my wife, because when I'm not pulling from my personal funds then anymore. Problem is it's expensive, right, to get a website made. I mean, software development's way more expensive than just about anything else.
Well, it's expensive and it's risky because there's no guarantee that they'll actually deliver.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if they do, that and your product is showing signs of growth, that they can scale it or evolve it. It might just be right once if you hire the wrong person and they do deliver it, but it's not evolvable, if that's a word.
Yeah. I mean, I could look at something like hooking into like a Shopify or something, or I don't know, Wix or something like that, and try to use that. But then it's the same thing, man. I got to sit down and configure it. I don't know. Maybe it would even be worthwhile for me to try like just programming this all in a completely different stack or something like that, just so that I have enough separation from my day job. But I don't know. But then I'm wasting time, I'm using time that I should be actually just building it out and finishing it.
So
on learning. So
what does it mean for someone to purchase your product online? Is there a list of products, or is it literally like, what does that look like? Because it's your personal like software, right? So it's kind of custom.
Sort of. So what the kind of workflow is that you say, okay, I want to make this. You start the thing. What you do is you configure the packaging and stuff like that. So I want a box. I want this manual. I want this media type or format for it. I want this additional document to be in, whatever. So you're picking, basically components to a physical release, right? Then you move on to the next step, which is, okay, here's what materials you will need to actually build this out. So you need a box cover, you need a box back cover, you need the pages of your manual, you need whatever goes on the document, you need to upload your code or provide us a download keys or whatever it is. So then there's that step. And then once they fill all that out, most likely there'd be a proof step where they say, okay, I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to submit it off. And, maybe we could say, I haven't really thought through this part, the proof part yet. I wonder if I could, have them pay for it first and then have proofing as part of the after part, or have them proof at this point, and then, once it's all good, then they pay for it. But essentially I have to validate that the files that they give me are good, will fit on the box and be printed like that or whatever. And then, they purchase it, and then I build it and ship it to them. So, as far as the website goes, pick from some items. There's not a lot of options right now, which is good, which is why I need the catalog finalized a couple weeks ago. Upload, first communicate what they need, and then allow them to upload their designs and stuff like that. And then finally the purchasing step, or the proofing / purchasing step. So, it's really not, it's not a complex set of things. It's getting the motivation to do that, or to bust it out, when I'm doing all of that stuff all day, and I'm really just burned out on it, honestly. Like, I don't know, this week's been a rough week as far as just, I'm just tired of working on the code that I'm working on. So
how far is your commute, or do you work from home?
My commute's like 7 minutes. It's just down the road.
I was going to say, is it possible that you can use public transportation and use that time to work?
Yeah, no. I've got the time in between stuff. So, when my kids go to bed,
you just don't want to write code.
Yeah. It's not, there's no excuse on time. Time's an easy thing to point to say, hey, I don't have time, but I can find the time, and I do, and I will find the time. Um, yeah, it's more of the, I sit down and I start, throwing up Visual Studio or bringing up Visual Studio Code, and I'm just like, uh, it's just no desire at all. It's like, if I don't know, if you spent an entire day hammering nails into wood and you got home and you had to do the step where you had to hammer in a bunch of nails into wood, it it's you're probably not as especially when you're having a bit of a crisis of being burned out about it and just not wanting to do it at all, even at work. it's yeah, it's going to be a hard thing, but I don't know. I've got to get it done. So, um, I mean, I've got some time this weekend. I'm just going to have to lock myself down and push over that feeling of whatever, and just get the minimum done, or get so it's, even if it's just the ugliest looking website, and the experience isn't there, and I don't have good error checking, and all that stuff. It's just, hey, I can click a couple select boxes and pick the items, and then click next, and then even do everything server side rendering, just post the next step, get the uploads, post those, and go and just get it done. So, I mean, like I said, I just gotta lock myself down this weekend and get it hammered out. So
You still have time for physical fitness?
that's another thing where time is I have time. I could make time. I don't. I haven't for a while uh, on that. I was going pretty well for a couple of years, and then I just fell off the bandwagon last year because I was on this medication that basically dries you way out, and so like why it was painful to sleep. It was painful to whatever, because there's no moisture between my backbone stuff, so everything hurt. Yeah, it was awful. But I'm finally recovering from that. So, but it's been hard to get back into the routine. But um,
The part of coding that, or you say that you're just not motivated to code because that's all your whole life is coding when you're awake, from
yeah,
school to work, etc. Is there any part of writing code that you don't mind doing, that actually like is like engages you? Like, for example, when I'm doing domain driven design, like that part's fun. It's like Sudoku. It's like a little crossword puzzle for me. It's not until I have to start focusing on the UI that I start becoming stressed and it's no longer enjoyable. But when I'm just writing the business logic and first doing type driven development, then after that test driven development to solidify my initial design, like that stuff is like, it's fun to me.
yeah. No,
Like,
I like coding still. If I actually really would like to sit down and do some game programming again, because I really enjoy that kind of stuff. In class this week, we pivoted a little bit on this app that we're going on, and we decided we're going to do a different app based around reading from an OBD2 sensor and having like an automotive dashboard. And we started writing out a simulator for RPMs or something like that, and they were getting excited, and I it was fun too, because they're thinking about harder problems. It's more or less that the particular type of code that I do in my day job is the kind of, which is full stack web development, is what I have to do in this situation. And so it's the exact same code. So maybe I shouldn't say it's not coding in general. It's full stack web development that is just, I'm just exhausted thinking about. And I mean, I have to go to work in, 30 minutes or 40 minutes here. And it's the same thing. Like, I'm just dreading going to work today. So I don't know. I had some conversations on Twitter this week because I'm just like, I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it at all. I just want to do anything but, but this for a while, because it could be that we have like a lot of bugs in the software that I'm working on, and mostly due to front end bugs, JavaScript related bugs, HTML, CSS bugs, and it's just every time we get one, I go out there and I find like 3 things that are broken, or I got a new feature request. I go in, and yesterday I got one. I go in, start looking at the place it needs to change, find a bug immediately. It's like, well, shit, this should be fixed, before I go on and add some new damn thing to this. And it's exhausting. It's just rough.
I feel like you're tapping out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm I'll be 3 years into this engagement in June. So I don't know. It might be even time just to find something different to do in a different space or whatever. But the problem with software is you get into once you learn something, that's what you're valuable in, right? So full stack web development is what I'm valuable in right now. But so finding a job as a newbie in some other place would be difficult. Plus it'd have to be remote. So that really limits your options. So, but anyways, that's a totally different thing outside of the scope of dealing with trying to, get the business stuff off the ground. So.
You think you have what it takes to complete it by next Friday?
I don't know if I have the luxury not to. Thinking about where it's at, the event that I need to get done for is in a month from now, or from next week rather. And so if I don't get this figured out, I'm going to miss that deadline hard, because I've still got I still have to figure out other stuff. I still have to get pricing figured out, shipping. I have to get my the designs all squared away. Like I'm really at crunch time now with my time, because I've got to work 40 hours a week, plus I've got my kids, which I have to I'm not gonna, I bend where I can. I'm not gonna spend every day with them or every hour with them, but if there's an event or something, I've got to go to it. And then I've got teaching 2 nights a week. So I mean, I don't have a lot of time relative to what's, I couldn't just take a whole week off in April and just do it. No, I've got to fit this in now, or I just won't have the time to get it done. So
your teaching curriculum has already been established?
No,
are you able to use your current project as part of the curriculum?
No, I tried that a little bit, but no, there's one class that I'm teaching. It's like a C# and XAML type course, and then there's like one that's it was supposed to be like JavaScript, Windows Store or something like that, but I think I went to we're writing an app in Electron, so but that whole program's just kind of a shit show. It's like I came in late, and this is like a 2000 level course, so they should have some good foundational programming ability, and some of them do, but it's just like they didn't learn what they should have learned by this point in their progression. So and it's not their fault. It was the program's fault. It's been hodgepodged together. So, but anyways, that's a totally different story. But yeah, no, that's just a fixed thing I've got to do, and I've got to spend another night probably prepping for classes this week. So literally, I mean, I have to get this done this weekend. There's just no give on it, I think. Period. So
you're gonna lock yourself away? You're gonna go on a retreat
No, and not exactly. I'll probably come down and just spend. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay up late tonight and just hammer that out. Got a thing tomorrow too with a like a birthday party thing to go to for a friend's kid or whatever. So,
Yeah, I
but
can't. I can't imagine being productive and living in a household full of people. Like, I mean, I live alone, but I mean, just because I had a visitor like for like almost a week, I mean, I feel guilty for not spending like quality time. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I can only imagine being married and having kids and like and a 40 hour or 45 hour per week job. Like, I'll just be
yeah,
fat. Fat and like just not be able to do anything on the side. So I mean,
yeah. Well,
I
I'm
think
trying
I'll
to
be
make it
fat.
work, but yeah, it's it actually scares me a bit. Like, what if this is successful? Like, I don't, part of me is like, I need to try it because I've had this idea and I need to either just do it or shut up and just shut it down, right? And so my goal for this was I want to launch this in April. I want it to be out there. I want it to be a thing. And I want to give it a real honest effort of trying to get people to sign up and do it. And if it just falls flat, great. I can shut it all down and say, you know what, I tried and I just wasn't successful at it, or whatever. But the opposite scares the crap out of me of what if it's actually somewhat successful and now I've got to make 20 boxes and I don't have any time to do it.
That's kind of the same thing that I'm at. Like I'm so negative, or should I say pessimistic, about what I'm doing. But I feel like kind of like what you alluded to, I owe it to myself to try. And it's the same thing. Like, my concern is, well, what if people do start using the app and I can't fulfill their orders because it's only just me? Because why would someone else try to work for something that hasn't really been proven yet? Uh, so you could shoot this one down. You said you really want to get this done, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got to get it done.
So, what if for every declaration that you make that is reasonable, um, totally reasonable, if you don't deliver on it, then on a, let's say per week, then you have to donate $10 to some charity to incentivize
um
you.
yeah, the problem with withholding money incentives like that to me is that I don't value, I mean, I value money, but I don't value it as much as, whatever. So it wouldn't incentivize me or decentivize me at all,
Okay.
to have some sort of, if it was significant money, like, half my life savings. Well, yeah, that would be just, then my wife would be like, you're pretty well, you have to do this. But, you spend $10 on like coffee and
Yeah.
a bagel. So it's like that, it's a difficult thing to try to get incentivized by a, promise of fail, of whatever. Um, you know, I don't know. I think I've just got to. I don't know if I need to necessarily the social proof stuff. The social, holding the say I'm going to get this done. I mean and the embarrassment I face for not that's probably more uh, motivational
I
than any sort
guarantee
of
you,
monetary thing.
there's only
So,
probably like 3 people watching this
oh
ever.
yeah, well I know, but that one person who's some random person in some random city, is probably gonna be like, you know what? If I ever encounter that Sean, he doesn't figure out this thing this next week, I don't think I'll like him. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
no,
I know employers look at my YouTube videos as they're trying to research me as an applicant. So there's some incentive for me to like deliver on what I say. But
yeah, yeah. And I've done this too many times where I start something, I'm like, I'm going to do this. And then I just like, it fizzles, and, it's because, yeah, that's what motivation does, right? It fizzles. But I tend to, when deadlines get approached, I tend to get more, I think I thrive better with deadlines that are like external deadlines, maybe. So I know this thing's coming up in April, and it's kind of like an external deadline thing. I've got to get it done for that thing because there won't be another one until October. And so if I miss the shot here, well, then I've got to wait X many months to get. Now I could focus some other thing, but I want to focus this thing. So, deadlines always, I do better with them because there's actually a need to get done, and the closer I get, the more I'm able to separate out what is just cruft from the actual core of what I need to do, right? So I don't have as much time now to say, oh, I want to use this color and not this color, or this looks bad or whatever, and I need to fix that right now. You have to get just something functional. So go do it. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I will see. I think I should be able to get this done this weekend if I pay less attention to the prettiness of it and design of it, and just get it hammered out. And I just gotta bite the stick here and just start working on it and get it done. So, or I'm just not going to if I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. You said you have to get ready to go to work, so.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to be work around 8-ish this time, so it's 9 o'clock there. But, yeah. So, but yeah, so my thing is definitely get what I need to get done for this website thing before I do anything else for this, including getting those making more boxes and stuff like that. I got to get this done by the Friday. No excuses at all. So, what's yours for this week?
Same one as last week. Just the Amazon thing. I just have to wait until I have a revelation, given my current conditions. Same as last week. I know excuses aren't worth that much, but I had company the whole week, and it was hard for me to break away. So
yeah, I've got company every day and a job, 2 jobs. So come on, man.
Yeah.
You can find the time. No, yeah. Yeah. So you should. I mean, would having a deadline help? Does that help you?
I did have a deadline. It was every Friday, whatever.
Oh yeah. It's like a sprint deadline, but as far as actually launching as far as your app goes, anyways, or an Amazon product, you can set weekly goals towards it, but if you have that kind of pressing end date, does that help you at all?
The humane side is I don't want a pressing end date.
Well, eventually you're going to run out of money, right? So you have a ticking time bomb unless you get a job, another contract. Right?
I mean, I have another channel of income. Right?
Oh, okay.
That's how I only work 4 months out the year. But yeah, it's basically, I don't know, the passive income that I do have is only maybe $4,000 a month, which is literally just enough to pay my bills, my monthly expenses.
You gotta share your secrets on that, man. Because if I could get $4,000 a month, I wouldn't be working at all. I'd be I'd be working full time on this damn thing. So must be, yeah.
It's not guaranteed. It's just on average.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've been trying to think of what my, what they call your FU money or whatever, what the number is that you need minimum to be able to quit your job and just work full time on a side gig. And
mine would probably be 15,000 a month.
Wow, that's way more than what I need, man.
Well, you have dependents, and you probably have a mortgage, and you have car notes, and you have a lot of operational costs as head of household. With me, it's like I got rid of my cars. I mean,
did you say 15,000 or 1,500?
No, 15,000 for me to not have to have a job.
Yeah, no, I mean, mine's way less than that, man. I would probably need like $4,000 a month, maybe take home.
No, so the thing is, I like my lifestyle. I don't want to stop my lifestyle. I don't want to save money and cut out coupons. Nah, I like where I live. I pay a premium on the location that I live at.
Yeah, maybe that's the deal. Like, I've got a mortgage to pay, but that's like my only, thing that, if I don't pay it, I'm really screwed on. So, but that's not that much for where I live. Like, living in rural areas, man, it's cheap. So,
not here, not in Miami Beach.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what I guess, if I was to live on a house on a beach in Minnesota on a lake, that would be probably a lot more expensive than where I do live. Although I have a lake right outside my back window. So
I have a 1-bedroom, 1.5 baths, and I pay $1,500 a month.
Yeah,
and that's a deal compared to my neighbors. They're paying like $1,700 for the same thing.
Yeah, I think my mortgage payment a month is like $1,000, and this is like a 4-bedroom, house with 2 acres. So with a lake view, but I'm adjacent to DNR land, so I can just drive a snowmobile down and go right onto the lake in the winter. But the path is kind of crappy in the summer, so I can't actually get out there. But yeah. But anyways,
well, good stuff. No, I don't want a deadline. I just like trying to meet my. You refer to it as like end of sprint or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's it, and I guess we'll catch up next Friday.
Sounds good.
And
I'll have better news next week for sure.
I'm hitting the stop broadcast button.